Good evening. As you all are coming in, let me know if you can hear me and let me know if the outside is too loud. I have my window open. But good evening to you. Okay, Bella is about to start, but we're gonna just keep it moving. All right, I'm gonna wait just a minute because this live is gonna go quickly. It's not gonna be a long live, and but I am gonna give you a lot of tips, and if you have any questions, of course you can email me, but I'm gonna show you the simplicity of making a dressing. It's not complicated at all, okay? It's really not. So the main thing I wanna show you is just a basic recipe, and we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start showing you what I have while we're waiting on people to come on in. And then as I'm showing you all these things, those that are here, if people are coming in and have questions, it's very helpful when you all answer the question for them. That way I don't have to keep repeating myself, or if I miss the question, they don't feel ignored, okay? Because I really can't see everything. So this is my cornbread that I made. I made it in my skillet. It's nice and cooled off. And this is what I used. I used Martha White, okay? Now I'm gonna show you some other things you can use, but of course there are a ton of cornbreads that you can use. It's all about your taste. So this is what I use. If anybody wants to screenshot that, it's just cornmeal. You follow the recipe on the back and you get your cornbread, okay? Or you can make it how you want. Now some that I recommend is the Martha White. They have the different ones. They have buttermilk. They have a few different of these. So I've tried these and they're really good. Okay. I love Martha White brand. They're not sweet. I don't know if she has any sweet. So if you want it sweet, you're going to have to add sugar. Okay. I do not know if they have any sweet cornbread at all. So you have to check that out yourself. And then I like this one. Now I know this, I can't pronounce that name, but I know they have a sweet cornbread. So that's why I recommend it, if you like it sweet, to use their honey brand. But if not, you could just use the Southern cornbread, which is not sweet. All right. So you should be able to find these in your local grocery stores or at Walmart. Or you can use whatever cornmeal that you like. There are a ton out there. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And the first thing I'm going to do is we are going to mix together our soup. Well, let me show you this first. Let me show you the ingredients. So here I have my chopped gizzards. And the process for me is, if I'm using gizzards, you all, chicken gizzards, I like to cook them first or put them on first. It takes about 2.5 to 3 hours to get these nice and tender. And when I tell y'all, I had way more gizzards than this, but we were eating them. Bella ate the most. They were just popping them in their mouth like candy. They are that good. So these are the gizzards that I chopped up of what's left of it. So I'll set that over there. It's nice and cooled off. Here are those 4 chicken thighs that I took the bone out and the gristle and everything, and I took the skin out and just kind of, I didn't really chop it up. I kind of just pulled it apart a little bit. So this is the chicken thighs, and I had 4 chicken thighs. And we won't need all of these ingredients, and you'll see why. And then this is my onion and my celery. So if you want to add that to your cornbread dressing, you can. I did saute this for about maybe 2 to 3 minutes. You don't have to saute it beforehand, or you can boil it with your meat. But I wanted to still have some type of texture to it. That's why I just gave it about a minute or 2. But if you like it kind of crunchy, you can just add it in your cornbread without sauteing it. In this bowl is my cream of chicken and cream of mushroom soup. It's 1 small can each, okay? That's what I have here. And then this is the broth that I boiled my chicken in, not the gizzards. So I boiled my gizzards for like 2 hours, and then I drained that off and got a whole new fresh pot of water, added in some chicken bouillon, some sage, adobo all-purpose, a little bit of, I think that was it, chicken bouillon, sage, and adobo all-purpose. And I added that to the pot with my chicken thighs, and I boiled that, and that is the broth that I have left over that we're going to use to make this wonderful dressing. So I'm going to show you how easy this is. So let's go ahead and do this first. Let's take our cornbread and crumble it up. And I need to pull y'all up over here so I can see your comments, because I can't keep going back to my phone in the back. Give me just a second. Let me pull y'all up over here so I can see you. Okay. Patrick asked about lasagna. I think lasagna is on the meal plan for, let me see something if it's on this week's meal plan. No, I think lasagna is on next week's meal plan. And yes, absolutely, you can use Jiffy corn mix. You can use whatever you want to do. You can use Jiffy, whatever you like. It's your dressing. So don't let nobody box you in and tell you you have to make it a certain type of way, okay? You make it your way at your house to your liking. So you see how that cornbread just crumbled right up? So we're just going to put that into our bowl here so we can mix everything together. And again, this is just your basic cornmeal. So if you want to add some sugar, you'll have to do that if you want it sweet, or use a sweet cornbread. So that made a little clean little spot there. We may use that to put it back in the oven. I have another pan set aside, so I may use that. So there's our cornbread. Now I'm going to take this because I'm going to need this. I'm going to add a little bit of my chicken broth, or whatever you want to call it, that I use to cook my chicken in. I'm going to add a little bit of that to that. And I actually need a wire whisk. Give me just a second. Now y'all know I be prepared, but I did forget that. So I'm going to whisk this together, and it's just to thin it out a little bit. That's all. We're just thinning out that soup. And you don't have to do that, nor do you have to add the soup. So just keep that in mind. This is just added flavor. So cream of chicken soup to me is very salty. So I like to kind of even it out with the cream of mushroom. So anytime like I make the cream of chicken, I always do cream of chicken, cream of mushroom. I don't ever just do cream of chicken. I just don't. It has way too much sodium for me. But if you like it, go ahead and add it. And I know somebody is probably thinking about, where's the eggs? They're right here. I have the chopped eggs, so I'm going to show you how I add that as well. I just wanted to get this ready because we're going to need to be adding that into our cornbread mix. All right, there we go. Let me move this over here. Now we can get started. I'm going to show you all too these gloves, because somebody asked me what kind of gloves I use. So now we got our cornbread. We're going to crumble it up. I'm going to get y'all directly into this bowl so you can see. All right, so we're just going to crumble that cornbread up. And I did like put some butter on top of mine, so we got a nice little buttery cornbread. Now, some things you can add into this is you can add some stovetop. You can if you want to. It's basically just toast anyway with a little seasoning. You can take some bread and toast it up and break it up in there. You can add biscuits. I've seen people do that. Or you can just not add anything. So today I'm keeping it simple. I'm not adding anything to mine, okay? There's also a stuffing pack that you can get from Sam's Club. And you may can get it at the grocery store, but I didn't see it. So you can add that too. So I'm going to start by adding in my ingredients. We got some of those giblets. And I'm going to save some because I'm going to make a gravy, okay? I'm going to make a giblet gravy. I'm going to go ahead and add in some of that chicken as well. And if you want to break your chicken up more or cut it up however you want to do it, you can. And you can also do this with turkey. So if you want to do like turkey wings and you want to add that meat in there, you can take it off the bone and do what you want with it and add it how you like. Make it small, make it big, whatever. And then for the egg, the boiled egg, the infamous, everybody was talking about that boiled egg. You literally just take the egg and you just put it in there just like that. It's really not anything, you know, complicated. You just chop it up after you boiled it. And I'm gonna add all of that because it's really good. And it's just one of your ingredients. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add in all of that celery and that onion. All right, let me see. Patrick, you looking at the menu? Rita says, have you heard of or used cream of onion? I have not. Yeah, the boiled egg, you just want to mix it together. The boiled egg came from, like I said, my grandmother, when I was a little girl, I remember that. She would put the boiled egg in her dressing. And all I remember, you know, as you're a kid, you don't really know. You know, I just knew it was good. And so as I grew older, you know, my grandmother passed away at a young age for me. I was in high school. And so I didn't get to ask her a lot of questions that, you know, you want to ask your mother/grandmother when you're older. So I was making dressing back in 2017, and I put some boiled egg in it, some chopped boiled egg. And baby, I literally broke down in tears because it tastes just like my grandmother's dressing. It was so good. All right, so now you see we have our dry ingredients mixed up with everything. Now I'm going to add in some of my seasoning. I have some margarine. People were asking me about this. Listen, you add what you want as your seasoning to your dressing. This is like thyme. So a lot of the seasonings like this, they're all in the same family, okay? They're all in the same family, all connected. So just because you haven't heard of something, don't knock it until you try it or find out about it. Because sometimes we say things and we don't even know what we're saying because we don't even know what it is. I'm adding a little bit of sage. So I don't like to make people feel, you know, no type of way. So I just don't say anything a lot of the times. I just kind of let them find out on their own. All right, we're going to mix this. You'll see me kind of mixing a lot with my hands. And while I got a glove off of one hand, I get these gloves, you all, from Walmart. They're the vinyl disposable gloves. Okay? I like to use those. Yeah, I like giblet gravy. So you don't have to add the giblets. So just know that's something extra that you add in. But all of this like goes together. I'm telling you, it's a whole vibe, as they say. So you just gotta try it, honey. That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you nothing else. I can't help you. I cannot help you. All right, now I'm gonna take my soup. And this is 2 cans. 1 can of mushroom, cream of mushroom, 1 can of cream of chicken. Again, it's to offset all that sodium. I do not like all that salt, honey. But feel free to add what you like and leave out what you don't. And we're gonna mix this together. All right, I'm gonna try to look at your comments while I'm putting these gloves on. Barbara says she also does the cream of chicken, cream of mushroom. Yeah, I do that anyway whenever I use the creamy soups or like the cream of celery, you know. So you just want to combine these together with your dressing. And the whole point is you want to get it moistened because it has to go back in the oven. But as I was telling you all on the previous live, you just want to add a little bit of your seasoning at a time and your liquid. So once you put your soup in, because if you make one helping or one serving of your cornbread mix, you usually use 2 little small cans of the soup. Will get you here. So then we'll add in our broth to get it more moistened, okay? So at this point, I'm going to taste my dressing before I start adding in my broth. And again, my broth has sage, it has adobo, and it has chicken bouillon. So let me get a fork. Now this is the favorite part because you can kind of see where you are. Let me see. It's so good. You can eat it like this, really. Okay. Now for me, okay, hold on. The flavor's good. Let me grab, oh Lord. I meant to grab some sugar. I need a little bit of sugar in mine. And of course my sugar was in the spot that was way back in the back of my pantry. But I'm gonna add a little sugar to my cornbread dressing. because cornbread by itself to me is very bitter. And so I need to offset that bitterness for me. So I'm adding a couple of spoons of sugar. And then I'm going to start adding in my broth. And this has still chunks of chicken and even giblets in that, because this is the broth that I boiled the chicken in with the giblets. And if you want to mix with a spoon, you can. I just like to use my hands, but I don't like to get my actual hands in it. Thank you for helping with the answering the questions. I appreciate it. So the flavor itself is really good. I'm going to put a little bit more marjoram in there. And we'll add a little bit more broth. As you can see, we're getting it nice and moistened now. Because when you're baking your cornbread, one thing you don't want is a slice of dressing. Or dry dressing. You want your dressing to be moistened, I would hope. But maybe you don't. So it's up to you what you like. I like a moistened dressing. And I just like to add a little bit at a time. I don't want to overdo it or make it too soupy. Add a little bit more, then I'm going to taste it again. Thank you. I'm going to try to get a glance at your comments in just a second. So, I like mine moist. I like everything tender, but with definition. Does that make sense? And the flavor got to be there, because, baby, listen. I ain't going to be able to do it. Hold on. That is so good. Y'all, listen. I'm actually going to get this dressing away. I'm going to let I wasn't going to freeze it because I'm going to make some more for Thanksgiving. I put a little bit more of that in there. I'm going to add some more marjoram. This marjoram, I'm telling you, I tried to make some dressing one year without marjoram. My God. It was horrible. It was like awful. I said, what in the world? And then I remember I didn't have the, that's what I was missing, the marjoram. But it was too late. And it was just awful. So you know how you make something and you just don't know what's missing? You keep saying, what am I missing? The taste just be off. Well, that was my problem one year. I was so disappointed. Y'all, wait till y'all see this done. I wish y'all could taste it. And because of where I'm taking it, I can't let them taste it on camera. Let me see. Listen. Y'all, it's so good. Okay, let me see. Trying to look at your comments. Yes, I did put a little sugar in it. I do not like tart cornbread. I don't like it to be tart. So if you like that tangy tart taste, then go right on ahead. I can't do that. I have to curve that. So it's not sweet at all. It just takes that bitterness away. And I can't do it. Not going to be able to do it. But we don't all have the same taste buds. So some people can, I can't. So it's nice and moist. And now this is good. This texture here is good to go into our baking dish. But you see how I added a little bit of my liquid at a time? Those 2 cans of soup is really good for that 1 serving. Let me show you what I did. So I used this, but you can use whatever you want. Because if you use just a cornbread thing, if you do the 1 serving, it'll make a nice pan like I just had. So it's not a whole lot of cornbread. And then you just follow those instructions. So with just that 1 serving, I used the 2 small cans of soup. They're like really small. Where are they? I got some extra ones. They're small like this. Okay, I use 1 cream of chicken, 1 cream of mushroom. And we have our broth here. We're going to use the rest of this to make the gravy. So we're going to put this in the oven. We're going to make a giblet gravy. And that's it. We're going to bake this, honey. And when I tell you, It's gonna be so good. And that was just too easy. So the main thing you want to decide is, do you want vegetables? Do you want onions? Do you want celery and things like that? You want to get that prepared. Do you want meats? Go ahead and get your meats ready. Make your cornbread. You can make it a day or 2 or 3 in advance. That's not a problem. You know, and then you just add your seasonings to your liking. But for me, there are certain things I have to have, like that margarine. I have to have it. It just adds something to the dressing. Sorry, I'm looking for my cooking spray. It adds something to the dressing that if it's not there, it doesn't taste right. So, for me. And then you just flavor up your broth, because that's going to be added into your dressing, and now your dressing tastes like your broth. So it's real simple. Let's see. Can you list the seasoning again? Which one, Cheryl? Vicky, no, I have not used it, but I will use it. I don't have a problem with using the cream of celery soup. So you see how moistened that is? You want it to be like this, because I'm telling you, if it's too dry, you're gonna be, it's gonna be dry. Okay, and for me, if it's too soupy, it just don't be right. So you just want a nice, you know, a nice dressing. This is so good. I could just eat a cup of this, a bowl of this. It's very tasty and very flavorful. And we'll just spread that out. I did spray my pan if you missed that. There we go. And we're gonna put this in the oven on 350. So I want y'all to see it before it goes in. You watch me make it. It looks like my camera is kind of blurry. I will try to figure out what that's about, because I don't like it to be blurry. It should be clear. Thank you, dear. Yeah, it has to be moist. So this is just one way to make dressing. I want you all to just take away, like if you don't like the egg, don't put it in there. Imagine it without the egg or the giblet, whatever it is you don't like. You don't have to add a meat. But if you're not going to boil your meat, like your chicken, then you need like some chicken broth. You need something with some flavor. Or you could just boil the chicken and just use your broth, your seasoned broth. You need to season it though, because like I said, it's all about the flavor. So I'm going to pop this into the oven. We're going to make this gravy. I didn't cover it. We're going to make a quick giblet gravy. Whew. If I can get this back in here. And you know what? You all, I do not have, let's see. I'll try to work with this little flour I got, y'all. I don't have a lot of flour, so. Give me just a second. And we'll come over here and make the gravy. So any questions, I'll answer any questions in just a minute. But when I tell y'all it's so easy, it's too easy. Like, I don't even understand. It's like, it's too easy. Okay, somebody said it's something similar to butter. I don't know what no, margarine. Let me show you. And it's probably marjoram. I'm probably saying it wrong. It's probably marjoram, but you know, I have a little draw there. But this is what it is. If you want to screenshot it. It's literally just like thyme. It's very similar. So if you like thyme, then you will like marjoram. Okay? Just so you know about that. And I keep that. I got so much marjoram because, child, I didn't have it that 1 year, so I started buying it. Around the holiday, it's hard to find it. So that's just how it is. Because people who know about it, of course, they be buying it up. All right, let me move y'all over here. So we got some giblets left. I guess we'll put some of this chicken in there too. We're going to make a gravy. So here is the rest of that chicken. And here is that giblet. So do y'all want to just do giblet or add the chicken? I'll let y'all decide. Giblet or add chicken as well. And we're going to use this same pot. You see it's a little piece of giblet in there. And a few pieces of chicken. That's all that's in there. And again, in here I cooked, I did the chicken bouillon, the adobo, and the sage. Chicken bouillon, adobo, and sage. And then for me, the adobo and the chicken bouillon has enough salt. If it's not salty enough for you, just add your own salt. But I don't like a lot of salt. So if you make my recipes, you know that I do not like a lot of salt. If you make anything of mine that's salty, you did it wrong, because I don't do salt. Both? Okay. So this is pretty easy. We're gonna just, I don't have any onion in there, so, which is fine. We'll just go with what we got. And I'm gonna show you how easy this is. Let's turn this side on. Put it on like a medium high. Let's let that start up and get hot. And I'm gonna start breaking up that chicken a little more. And we'll make a chicken and giblet gravy. So if you just want to do giblet, and I'm sorry I'm moving around, I'm trying to put stuff away so that my kitchen isn't a complete wreck. Put that up there. Okay, I'll worry about the rest of this later. Alright, so if you just want to do giblet, just do giblet. If you just want to do chicken or turkey, just do whatever it is that you want to do. I don't need any more flavor in this pot. It has enough, I promise you. And just to be on the safe side, I'm going to taste it. But as flavorful as my meat and my gizzards were, I know I don't need it. Because it was so flavorful. I told y'all Bella ate so many gizzards, we didn't even have a lot left. Oh my God. That's it. That's it. That's all I can say right there. That don't need nothing. Not nothing. So I'm going to get my flour. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. This is like the easiest gravy you can make. Let me open up my cornstarch as well. So I'm going to add about, let's see how many. That is about, what y'all, 2.5, 3 cups? Yeah, about 2.5, 3 cups. So we need about, where are my measuring cups? These children. Hold on, y'all. Trying to see how much to measure out so I can tell you. You don't need a whole lot of flour, but we need at least, I would say at least a 1/3 cup of flour. 1/3 cup. Maybe 1/4 cup. That's more of a 1/4 cup. Okay, so that's the flour. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of cornstarch. Okay, now you don't have to add that if you don't want to. So that's what's in here. And then I'm just going to mix it with a little bit of water, just a little bit, until it dissolves. Cold water. Now, if there was no flavor in that pot, of course we can add some seasonings to this. This is just one of the many ways to make a quick gravy, but a delicious gravy. But since we already have this here, all this flavor in this pot, we're going to take advantage of that and use it. I made a really good gravy one time. I did, what did I make? Was it turkey? It was turkey. It was last year, as a matter of fact. So last year, or maybe the year before, no, it was last year. I did a turkey, and then I boiled the, I cut the turkey up. That's what it was. I took a whole turkey, cut it up, and had, like, you know, the neck and all of that, and the back, and I boiled the parts and got that flavor. I removed those parts out, and I had just like some broth like this, you all, and I just made a gravy. It was so good. It was so flavorful, and it was just too easy. Look, I have a dressing recipe that I posted to my page. It's also in the first cookbook, so if you don't have the first book, it is on my page. You just have to scroll back up. You're welcome, Angie. And I buy them by themselves. I buy the, let me show you. I buy the gizzards alone. I have another package somewhere here. So I just buy mine by themselves. These are, of course, frozen. I'm going to use these for Thanksgiving. So that's what I get when I make mine. They don't really have them inside of the turkey like that. They have a little bit, but I mean, it is what it is. All right, so this is starting to kind of get to a boil. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit because we don't want our gravy like boiling, so to speak. But you need it hot enough to where you can add in your thickener. So I'm going to do that first. And stir it in. And you saw it was nice and smooth because I had already combined the flour and the cornstarch with the little water that I had in there. Okay. I'm going to give it just a minute. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Now, you don't need anything to brown this up, but I'm going to add just a little bit of my beef broth base to thicken it up. I mean, to darken it up. That's what I'm trying to say. But you don't have to add anything because this gravy alone, it has a nice color to it. It really does. And I'm going to get a spoon so y'all can see the thickness of it. So again, I did about a fourth cup of flour and about a tablespoon of cornstarch. And this is about 3 to 4 cups of liquid. So to me, it's not real super thick, but it will thicken up a little more. So I'm not going to go there because I know how I do. It'll thicken up more. So I'm going to add just a little bit of that beef broth base to give it some color. Or you can leave it as is. And I can feel it getting thicker as I'm stirring it. So you see how it gave it just like a tint and those little pieces. Don't worry about that because they'll break on up that beef base. So that's good enough. I'm not going to add any more else to that. And I'm going to give it just a moment and then I'm going to add in our giblets. Let me taste that. Y'all hear Bella calling me? My God. Okay, let me go ahead and add this in. I'm going to turn that heat down though, because I'm not trying to boil it. Dang it. I didn't mean to do that. All right, let me stir those in first. And then I'm going to break up this chicken. Now, there are other things that you can use to make like a brown gravy if you want, without getting that flavor. If you want to do that. But I like the tint of this gravy, especially for the dressing. So I'm just going to break this up in there. You could shred your chicken. You could chop it up. Whatever you want to do. And I'm just looking forward to you all seeing the finished product. I just wish you all can taste it. It's just so full of flavor. And if you have not tried that boiled egg in your dressing, you need to try it. Even if you just do a little dressing, just put some aside and do like some chopped egg in it and try it. It's really good. You ain't got to do your whole pan. All right, so we're going to add that. And then I'm going to let y'all get a close-up. I'm going to show you that dressing one more time. And then I'll come back and let you know how long I baked my dressing for and show you the finished product. And this was just 4 chicken thighs, literally. So we got all of that out of that. This is a cheap meal to make too. All you need is some chicken. Gizzards are super cheap. Cornbread is cheap. All you gotta do is make some gravy. Feed a whole lot of people. with a pan of dressing. Feed a whole lot of people. Y'all, listen. Listen. Do you make bread stuffing or cornbread? I don't stuff mine. I don't stuff mine in my turkey. Y'all, I'm gonna let this simmer. I'm gonna turn it down. Y'all see them giblet parts in there with that chicken? Somebody know what's gonna happen. So if you want to thicken it up, you can. You just want to, you know, mix some flour or whatever. I'm going to leave mine just like this. This is good enough for me. That's good enough for me. So if you do want it thicker, get you some flour like we just did. Put it in a little cup or something. And you can just add a little bit at a time. I would do maybe 1 tablespoon. And then, you know, mix it with a little bit of liquid and then add it and then let it sit for a minute. Because you don't know how thick it's going to get right away. It doesn't always thicken up right away. So by the time this is ready, it's going to be perfect. So let me turn it down a little bit. I'm going to show y'all this dressing before we go. And I will post the finished product in just a minute. Well, not a minute. I gotta bake my dressing. Y'all. Look. Now we just getting started. But do you see? Can you see? I just want to make sure you can see. So of course, when it's done, it'll be nice and browned, but it's going to remain moistened. All right. So give it about, I'll post in about an hour, maybe a little longer, and show you all the finished product. And I will, I'll let you know the exact time. But I say after 45 minutes, taste your dressing to make sure it's where you want it to be, because you don't want it to dry out. So I'll see you all in about an hour. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.